This is going to sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not. Keen, the last question I would have had, we kind of had this debate during text, was you said Tyrese Halliburton could be the face of the league.
So I didn't. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly explain this. So I didn't actually mean. What I meant by that was more so like over this next.
League.
Yeah, I know, but then I retracted that statement. If you remember, I retracted that statement, and more so being like, I think he could be one of the kind of moments in the league for like a couple years over this next couple year stretch of being a guy, because I do think his celebrity is very much growing. I really do. And I think that if he was, I'm not sure if you see it, but from the people that I speak with on a regular basis, from random people that I work with who don't fully watch basketball and things like that, I feel like his celebrity is truly growing. And then if they win this year and then they could get to a finals next year, I just feel as if the kind of viral moments, I'll say, obviously I'm not going to say iconic quite yet, but like he has had iconic moments for basketball wise, honestly, like they've been there. So between all of that, I think that's kind of what builds a celebrity and kind of builds something that the league can play around. So I think that's kind of where I put it. And that's why. And being in the finals, like a few years, like conference finals and finals.
So you're saying he could be like what level of star here? Like, give me a player of the past.
So it's hard to say a player of the past, but I'm not comparing him to this because I don't think he can be at this level, because this level's pretty much face of the league level without being a full tenured face of the league. But how AI was no, Kyle, I don't think
can't give me
no, I don't think what I'm saying is, obviously AI's peak of play was like a 3-4 year stretch. He was really good for a lot of them, but like if you think that early 2000 to like 2003-ish stretch of AI was like, oh wow. And I'm not comparing him to AI. I don't think he can get to AI celebrity. What I'm saying is that kind of like 3 or 4 year run. Let me give you, I'll have to think of a player here real quick, but that's kind of more I mean.
You're not comparing him to Iverson, but you are comparing him to Iverson. Like, I don't.
No, I'm saying what I'm comparing. AI was never the face of the league, right?
Debatable.
Never.
I think it was between
the face of the league.
I think Shaq, Kobe, and Iverson kind of, especially Shaq and Iverson, I think they kind of all had a mantle on it. There was definitely a stretch in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, where Iverson was undoubtedly the most popular player in the league.
So to me, I think Kobe, Shaq, but I also think like the third kind of guy there was like AI. The same way you think of LeBron, Steph, then Kevin Durant, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's the difference. Though, is AI was again undoubtedly the most popular.
No, guy. and I understand that, but what I'm saying is AI wasn't for like a long stretch of time, where a lot of your faces of the league are for long stretches of
for
time.
Sure.
Which is why,
but you're talking about Tyrese Halliburton, which is
you're getting in your head too much with AI.
No, you're not. You're not even letting me explain. I haven't even explained my point yet.
Okay, you had twice before, but go on.
I did not. I did not actually. All I said, I responded to Iverson. I haven't responded to Tyrese Halliburton as a whole. So I mentioned in the text Trae Young, and the reason why I said Trae Young, why Tyrese Halliburton, star-wise, NBA-wise, probably isn't as big of a star to me as Trae Young, was Trae Young had a name coming out of Oklahoma. Trae Young had Steph comparisons coming out of Oklahoma, right? Mm-hmm. So he had a name, he had a star value, and he had a distinct game. Haliburton, I don't know, like how I've never had a conversation about Tyrese Halliburton with someone who's not a basketball fan. Whereas Trae Young, I have.
I have now. That's why. My point is like
that's good, but I mean, you mentioned
you can grow. What I'm saying, you can kind of grow into it.
You can, but these names you're mentioning with like Iverson and Trae Young in particular, those are two guys who had a college name built into them. And then so like other stars who maybe weren't heralded out of college, like Dame Lillard, he pretty immediately became a star after his Rookie of the Year campaign. Whereas Haliburton now, he's been in the league 4 or 5 years, has had 2
It's longer
runs.
than that, actually, but go on.
He's had 2 runs, and he's a star, don't get me wrong, but to put him up there with those kind of guys, he doesn't even have the personality for that. Like, I don't even think
Oh, I do.
Like, I don't think
I think
I've
he
never
has the on-court personality, and I think he does. That's me
But,
personally,
but like, I don't even know what that is. Like, he did the choke sign, that was dope, but like, I've never thought like, damn, like Haliburton is this like charismatic dude. Whereas like, again, when I mentioned earlier, like LeBron,
you don't think
I think he can be disingenuous, but like, he sticks out on the court. He's LeBron fucking James. Curry, obviously, we know Curry's a star. Kevin Durant,
these guys aren't comparable.
Kevin Durant, who's the most laid back out of those 3, just still has this cool quality to him. And even when he was on the Thunder, before like his personality really took a turn, people really liked just how like humble and down to earth he was. Westbrook, like I can't take Westbrook and Harden, those 2 guys. Those guys are mega stars. Anthony Davis, all 3 of them have like real brands and stardom. Kawhi Leonard, those guys, that I can't imagine Tyrese Halliburton getting to. And I'd put Lillard in that category too. Like, and Giannis, like I can't imagine Haliburton being as big a names as those guys. And here's someone who's not only in the finals, but had a conference finals run last year. SGA, I would put ahead of him too as far as stardom goes. I'm not saying he can't be a big name in the NBA, but as far as transcending sports and like breaking that wall and being like a sports star and just being a superstar in general, I have a hard time seeing it now.
So
I'm not saying he can't bridge the gap.
I personally think, especially if you're mentioning someone like Kawhi, I don't see how he couldn't get to that. If he like the basketball has to be there.
You're talking,
but you have to. I mean, no, I understand what Kawhi is. Don't get me wrong.
No, I'm saying you're talking about all the guys I mentioned. Not only have like signature shoes, but their own brands. And like Haliburton doesn't even like. I don't even know if Haliburton's as big of a star as unfortunate. And this is unfortunate. Like LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is probably a bigger star in the same draft class as Haliburton, even though Haliburton is every bit of the player LaMelo Ball was supposed to be. LaMelo Ball was supposed to be in the position that Haliburton's in right now, especially when you figure all the stuff they have in common. But to your average person, to your like if we're defining a superstar or you know whatever it is, you said it's not face of the league. If we're talking about this guy being like one of the cornerstones, I just think there's guys ahead of him. Like we talked about John Morant, John Zion would still be ahead of him there. As far as that goes.
I don't think Zion at this point is. I think he's been out too long. I mean, unless
he has, but he's still got a way bigger name than Haliburton. If Zion gets traded next year, pick a team, and they make a conference finals run, it's just going to be a bigger deal than anything Haliburton does. That's how it goes. I don't know. I
don't know. I mean, we don't obviously know what the future holds.
Sure.
Obviously, he was last year before he got injured, he was becoming in that run. Obviously, he was getting talked about a pretty decent amount when he was obviously because that was first year of the play-in, and he was doing a lot of stuff at that point. We were talking about he was getting talked about. And then I think if he's to beat a 68 win Thunder team and then goes on next year, goes on a run, has say like a Steve Nash type, like I think it's projection more so. I mean Steve Nash type year where he's averaging like 22 and 11 and possibly could be in an MVP kind of conversation towards like the 5 or 4 or 5. I think that he could grow into that. Obviously, the play on the court matters.
It does.
Like Kawhi Leonard grew into that because Kawhi Leonard won Finals MVP, played great against LeBron, and then went and won another Finals, and then he grew into that. That's more so what I'm saying.
Here's the thing, though. Kawhi's distinct, though. People know Kawhi.
Haliburton's not distinct. His game's not distinct. No one plays like him in the league right now. That's what I'm saying. He has a distinct game.
Okay, so again, Kawhi, his personality is distinct. Kawhi not only was the best defensive player for a time, he is comically quiet and comically laid back, right? That's something you can sell. Haliburton, okay, I mean, what?
Trash talks quite often, does think like,
but not in a brash way. Not in a brash way. Like hoop heads know he trash talks, but we don't look at him like
Trae Young does the same thing, and Trae Young it's the same kind of level of trash talking between Trae Young and Haliburton.
Trae Young's a bigger star though. Like people know Trae Young more than Tyrese Halliburton. Like I don't.
I'm projecting more so with this. I never said he is right now. I'm saying
No, I know,
there's
but I'm saying
projection with that.
but my point, Keenan, is if you're a bigger star right now, if you got guys ahead of you who haven't succeeded as much as you in your career, but that still can, who still could get to deep playoff runs, people like Trae Young, people like Zion, people like Ja Morant, they're gonna get it more than Haliburton. You can see with how they're pushed. We're talking about the NBA, who does not do a good job of promoting their young guys. Even SGA, like SGA is the guy. He's the MVP. He's the guy in the series, and people don't even know about him. And he's someone who's got like an online presence too. Like his Instagram's like notoriety for people too. You know what I mean? So Halliburton's just not that guy. Like Haliburton, I bet if you look at Halliburton's followers on Instagram, it's not probably super high. Like I don't think it would be as high as, again, those guys like Trae Young, like Zion. Like I don't, okay, nicely put here. I've been a few places around the country within the last 6 months, and I have not, to my memory, I have not seen one Tyrese Halliburton jersey. That would be my thing. I haven't seen a lot of Tyrese Halliburton gear. That would
I've
be my
seen
thing.
multiple people around this area alone.
Okay, well there you go. I mean, you maybe have. I'm just saying, like me, I haven't seen it. I don't know. When you throw around names like Iverson and face of the league and all that, like it's grand expectations that I'm seeing with that. And when you mention point guards of the past, like three that come to mind real quick, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. Like I mentioned Westbrook, like Chris Paul, Steve Nash, and Kidd, they all had big star profiles, like early on in their career, going into their prime. Whereas Halliburton's moving towards that. And again, you're right. Haliburton could have a big finals, a big best of 3 game here, best of 3 series, and maybe catapult himself. I just don't see it, just because, again, I'm going from my point of view. I just haven't had a ton of Tyrese Halliburton conversations, if any, with people who were not NBA fans. And I have not seen, I don't know, I haven't seen the cool factor with Haliburton that what you're making for him to be a star. I haven't seen the cool factor from him in a magnifying way. Again, I think the choke was dope. I think his style of play is dope. Deep threes, flashy passes. But I mean, you also got LaMelo, who does the same thing. You got Trae Young, who does the same thing. Out.
No, I just think that he could grow into it. I mean, Steve Nash didn't win an MVP until year 7. He didn't average over 10 assists in a game until year 8. So I'm just saying you can grow into that, and that's what I think he has. He has the possibility of doing.
Nash was still a guy, though. Nash was still a guy, which Haliburton is now a guy. He's turning into.
I mean, he was a guy, yeah, for sure. But I mean, also, I guess I just think that he could grow into that. But we can leave that there. I just think he can grow.
I'm not doubting
into
it.
It.
I'm not doubting it. But you started off the conversation with face of the league.
That was me being a little bit over. That was me being a little over. So, and the fact that I'm comparing Allen Iverson to the tenure and the length of it, not more so to AI. I got it. But
AI even had more than 4 years, and we're talking about with any player, with the players.
I guess I'm at peak in basketball. I guess what I'm saying is basketball peak mixed with stardom, because obviously, like Kyrie is still a huge name, and obviously he's not at his basketball peak at this moment because he just tore his ACL. But like that's more so what I mean. The basketball peak mixed in with your stardom, because obviously AI in 2008 was AI.
Yeah,
he's always AI. Like that's just the thing. Like I'm not comparing him in AI.
And I would say with the way Haliburton's career is gone, we're saying 6 years. Is that what was his draft class for sure? Was it 2020?
He is in his 6th year. He is in his 6th year right now. I mean, his career looks. You said Steve Nash, his career looks better than Steve Nash's through this point in his career. Like,
no, for sure. My point is, though, like Nash, where he was in his career, he played with Dirk. They were on a lot of national TV games. Haliburton's just, I guess he's kind of polarizing with the most overrated thing, but like he's too low key, on top of him being, as we mentioned earlier, we were talking about his star level. He's too inconsistent. He'll follow up that 30-point game with a 12-point game, right? Mm-hmm. So. And he's just low key. He does talk shit. Yeah, for sure he talks shit. But like his star profile he's more low key than like Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark
Caitlin
is
Clark's
like
Caitlin Clark is bigger than 99% of the NBA, so that's different to me.
Yeah,
Like,
roughly. Yeah, she's up there for sure. But I'm saying like
LeBron, Steph, like you could argue her with a lot of these people up there. Like that she's different. Like she's in a different category.
Point being, she's got star quality, and I think Haliburton's got like light star quality. I don't have the same visions as you do, I guess, and I just think there's guards ahead of him truly that like got more star power and more
LaMelo. I'm a huge
LaMelo
guy. I think LaMelo has that capability. I know a lot of people come into Dick's Sporting Goods looking for LaMelo. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Like I understand all of that, but if he's not going to win, he'll only get to a certain point.
Oh, for sure.
And that's where I think Haliburton and the Pacers actually could go on a mini like kind of run because the East is weak. And then I obviously will see what the Celtics are in 2 years and kind of how things are. And if they get to another finals and then a conference finals and you start seeing him a lot and then the trash talking becomes more visual because people are honing in on it more because he's been doing it forever. But if you're honing in on things more, cameras catch more because you're paying attention to it more. I just think that can grow into it. And that's more so what I'm saying in that case. I know I was being a little overzealous with the face. I like the actual face of the league, but that's more so what I am saying. He could push into stardom, and that's where I'm going with that. But we can just leave it there. I understand that this wasn't prepared, but prepared for this, but we can just leave it there. And we'll see you in 2. We'll visit this in 2 years, and maybe I look stupid in 2 years. And you know what? I admit it.
No, I don't think you'll look stupid. I just think you were throwing out some lofty things, and we'll see. His star will definitely grow. And he may even, I think he will be a central figure in the NBA. Will he transcend the way some of these guys did? That I'm not sure about. I think there's other guys who got more of that in them that are young players. But that's a great thing about it. We'll find out with all these players.